Greetings, everyone. How are y'all doing? So good to be here. Happy Monday. Oh, what a beautiful energy we have today with the moon in Gemini. It's actually quite an intense energy. It everything is beautiful, but it's very intense, honestly. We have the sun in a square with Saturn and Neptune. Yesterday was Saturn, today is Neptune. So the energy can be pretty confusing. This is some really good energy for like creation, for being intentional in your creation and being mindful to be intentional with everything you do, because you could easily get lost and pulled off into things and ways of being that don't have any real meaning or value for you, because Neptune can be confusing, is what I'll say. So today is Monday, and Monday is the day that the moon rules. And I wanted to say that my Mercury retrograde workbook is ready. So if you are someone who does the Mercury retrograde work and has done it with me historically, this cycle I am not hosting a class, and I will not be doing the live free class online, because I'm going to continue with the nodal class. But if you are wanting to utilize the Mercury retrograde energy in the best way, please check out my link tree and you can pick up the workbook there. And so just here in my bio, go to my link tree, and it is Unleash Your Revolution. It's really about being your own revolution. Your voice, your time, your life. Like really coming into ownership and authority with yourself. So you can find it in my link tree. I think it's like the second one, and it's sort of bopping around, and you can purchase it there. And, share and purchase for others and give it as a gift and all of that, because it's a really optimal tool for the deep transformational work that we are doing right now. And the thing that's important about retrogrades is retrogrades are, in truth, they are opportunities to kind of get out of jail. It's like maybe you have been having a challenging relationship with somebody for years. And a retrograde is an opportunity to look at that experience through a microscopic lens, and determine what's really happening and shift it. Retrograde energy is an opportunity to undo patterns in ways that you wouldn't have an opportunity to do them before. It is when the planet gives us the illusion that it's going backwards. So we get to go backwards in our own subconscious, our own psychology, our own behaviors, ways of being, ancestry. You get to go backwards and change the thing. That's what this reality is. It's a magical fucking trip. And we have been believing that we are only these physical beings. We have forgotten that we are multidimensional beings. There are many dimensions here. And when you understand the psyche and the body and the spiritual lens of this reality, you realize you can go back and adjust things. So with the Mercury retrograde in Leo, my mouth is so dry sitting here. With the Mercury retrograde in Leo, so wherever Leo is in your chart, if you have like a Leo rising or, 6th house Leo, you can go and undo patterns if you can identify the patterns. But the workbook will help you identify the patterns, because you will see the things that come up. So Leo is all about romance. So if you're carrying energy around brokenheartedness, fear, despair of being yourself, opening your heart, fear of being harmed, hurt by others, not speaking up, not being true to yourself, like all of these, we all have all this stuff. That's the thing, that everybody has it on some level. It's just to the degree that you have it. I know for me, because I have been carrying this knowledge for my entire life with very little spaces to share it and disperse it, I have often felt ostracized, weird. And I have often responded to those feelings by shape-shifting and being what other people would want me to be, to feel safe and to feel comfortable. And so now I will use this retrograde because it's about Leo, and that's about your authentic self. And Leo opposes Aquarius. I will use this energy to reclaim those parts of myself. I will go and remember, like, oh, I remember when, like, I have this one memory. I remember when I was in a car with my mother-in-law and her husband, and maybe he was my boyfriend at the time. But they were saying something that I had a completely different perspective on. Completely different. And my perspective was deeply rooted in cosmology, but nobody else understood that. So, and it wasn't something that we talked about. And I didn't know how to introduce it in a way that would make people curious. The ways that I opened my mouth would make people frustrated. It would scare people. They didn't understand. So then it would become a battle. So I heard them say whatever it was they said, and I just went into my own conversation in my own head about what I really believed, but I didn't dare share it out loud because it just felt like, And I have had to do the deep healing work to get to a place where I have found the courage to speak the truth, to be able to say things out loud like, I know that my son is my mother reincarnated. It's so clear. I've always known that, like I know that my various family members are just other family members died and then they birthed in somebody else. Like my grandmother taught me that, right? But that's not something that we believe. And I don't know if everybody has access to that kind of understanding, but I do. And I talk to the trees. My intuition is very strong, and I can damn near hear people's thoughts. I can read people's, and so there's so much that I don't say because it's the stuff that doesn't want to be said from the other. So I just have learned how to put stuff away and act like I don't know. And now I'm undoing that because it's not necessary anymore. I have learned ways to, I have created channels for me to be in my authenticity with people who are open and willing to hear it. So I don't have to, but I still have to remove the code, the belief systems, the fear, the trauma of feeling unsafe and terrified. Like I'm still dissolving those things. And so I will use this upcoming retrograde for that. So nonetheless, I'm just sharing about how I use retrogrades, how they work, that they really are they're portals to jump further than you could have ever jumped without the retrograde. And that's why I love it. So you can go to my Linktree and you can find it in my Linktree. Unleash the inner revolution. Your voice, your time, your power. Okay, so today is a Monday, and this is the day the moon rules, and the moon is in Gemini. And with the moon in Gemini, there's a lot of internal dialogue going on. And you just want to be mindful of that entire internal dialogue. What are you listening to in your mind? I feel like this is a beautiful day to do your best to turn off the mind and focus on something that really is giving you a new leash on a perspective, right? And I spend so much time looking for new perspectives because I know that this reality is only perspectives. We are all living our perspective, the perspective of the one that has you at war with somebody, or war with yourself, or war with your mother. It's all perspective. The perspective that has you loving yourself, accepting, it's all perspective, right? So today is a great day to begin to access new perspectives of things that you don't feel, that feel like, out of alignment. So maybe you are, so I'm not having a conversation about, I'm using the word destruction instead of war for what's going on in the reality now, because I know, in my honest perspective, cosmologically, we are moving through a phase of destruction. That means that the masculine, the external realm, has to come undone, and we're going to give birth to a new thing. So I am seeing it from a higher perspective. I'm not seeing it from the perspective of like, oh, what they doing, that's so ignorant, they're doing that. I'm not in the ego perspective of it, because if I go to the ego perspective of it, then I'm going to create more of that. I'm going to access a perspective that is higher and more aligned to truth. And I have had to build that. I have had to study and understand, and some of that is just the Virgo way of being, and that Gemini moon that just needs to understand and proof and validation. That can slow you down. So you don't want to get caught up in that. Like, that's something I have to learn to step out of, and I'm doing that now also. Stepping out of my need for rational understanding, because this is not a rational reality. This is a subconscious reality. We are creating with our minds. We're creating with our feelings. We are creating with our karma. It's not 1 + 1 = 2 here. It is whatever your energy is. And so I am also working to let go of this construct of data that just repeats history and patterns so that I can do something new. So with the moon in Gemini today and the sun in Cancer, we are headed to a new moon. We're going to have a new moon in Cancer. And Cancer is the energy of home. It's the mother. We're in a whole new cycle. I feel like the best way to use this energy is to begin to really seed your own new reality. That's what I did. About a decade ago, I started understanding that I could create my own reality. That America was a reality that somebody built, and I can create my own reality based on what I believe and how I want to live my life. If I can hold it and live to that truth, the universe will honor it. So we all can create our own reality, you all. It's like having your own house. That's all it is. It's like, I live in this house, and if people want to see me at home, they have to come to my house. And my house is built of these beliefs and these practices and these ways of being and these perspectives. This is what it's like, back in the day, if you, like in England, they would have the crowns, whatever, like every family had a crest, and you want to build that for yourself. You want to have your own mission, your own motive, way of being, and you can understand that more easily if you understand your astrology. You don't have to rebuild it. You don't. It's already built for you. It came with you. It's in your natal chart is the instructions. But if you're not looking at your natal chart, then you don't know what you're doing. Like I had a reading with somebody recently, a woman who's close to my age, or no, we're about the same age, and she was totally in the shadow side of her life, and it was very interesting because she wasn't questioning anything. She was just doing as she was told, and she wasn't questioning anything, and so she was far away from where she wanted to be, and it was beginning to show up in her body. And so you get to create your own reality. You can start by studying your natal chart, learning the aspects of yourself. How does your mind work? How does your Venus work? How does your Jupiter work? How does your Uranus work? How do these aspects function inside of you? That is going to be the foundation. When I started realizing that, I was like, oh, I've been chasing relationships thinking that love is going to be, love relationships are going to be the core of my sense of self. And no, it's not at all. It was my natal chart that told me to redirect my energy. My natal chart said, you're doing that incorrectly, darling. Stop it. And I did. So now my reality is really based on, I have an Aries North Node. It's based on what I want and think. I don't need anybody's approval or validation. Aries says, do I feel good about it? If I feel good about it, that's all that matters. I am a pioneer, and pioneering is a mighty walk, because you have to walk while no one is agreeing with you, while people are looking at you going, why are you doing that? And that has been the thing that has been contorting for me. It has been a war inside of myself. Like, oh, I feel like this is what's the right thing to do inside of me, but everybody else is doing that over there. Fuck. And the tug of war on the inside of wanting to fit in and belong, but also being very deeply called to honor my own path. And I've gotten to the place now where I am doing it. So it doesn't matter who's here. But my chart has given me that permission. My chart was like, you have Saturn in Aries in the first house. You have Chiron in Aries. You have the North Node in Aries. You have Eris in Aries. You have to believe in what you want to believe in, no matter what people think, no matter if anybody is coming, no matter, you have to be doing it no matter what. And I have been doing that for years, and now it is catching on. It is catching on. So your chart is the first thing to do. And then once you start to have a relationship with your chart, you want to get clear about what's your mission. Based upon that, it's like, okay, then what am I really up to? What am I here for? What am I doing? Once I got my chart clear, I was like, okay, here's what I'm up to. I'm going to build community from inside of myself. And the community is not about other people. The community is about me having a safe space to be myself, to do the thing that I'm doing. And the people who resonate will come. But my mission is to create a space for me to really stretch out and be the thing. And I have Jupiter conjunct my sun, so I'm a teacher. So I'm not just doing it for me, I'm doing it for others. So I know that if I'm doing it, others will come because it will resonate with them. I have learned that from my chart, and it is helping me construct a mission, which then helps me know which actions to take, how do I actually roll this reality into existence? This is the same thing they did with building the United States of America. It's the same thing Beyonce did with building Beyonce Land or Disneyland, all right? You got to get clear about what it is that you're up to. But you want to build your own identity out that way because you want to live fully expressed. You want to leave this planet knowing that you left everything on the floor. When I leave, ain't gonna be nothing else left. I am giving it all away. I'm not here to get anything. There's nothing here to get. There's nothing here to get. You can't take anything with you. You cannot. So I'm here to leave everything. When I leave, I'm going to be empty as fuck, but full of love, full of love. All the things that I came to give are going to be given, and I will have received the love and appreciation from myself for doing what I set out to do, because I accomplished it. And guess what? The universe will have to mirror that back because it's all a mirror. It's all a mirror. That's it. It's just a mirror. So the sun is in Cancer, squaring Saturn. That is creating the structures. It's time for you to create the structures of your inner reality. What feels good to you, what nurtures you, what allows you to flourish, what's your truth, what gives you a sense of security. Yes, all the things I came to give will be given, and I will be empty. And I am so excited for that. I am deeply excited for that. Like, I have a deep sense of that feeling inside of me of when I go to climb in the bed and know that, oh, I get to go back to where I'm from now. I get to go back home. I get to go back home. We not from here, y'all. This is not home. This is not home. And when you'll do the work, you'll begin to feel it. You'll begin to feel your resonance of your essence, who you really are. And that essence will begin to resonate here. And you'll break out of these confines that we have been birthed into. All right, you all. Go to my Linktree, pick up the book. And for Mercury retrograde, the work starts on June 30th. So we have just a few more days. The workbook is $33, and if you can pay for it in two, it's just $33, which is normally I would have a whole class, but I'm like, nah, I can't do a class, and I can't do that and this at the same time. I can't do another class. I'm doing too much. I'm stretching myself too thin. So you can go get the workbook from there. And today, get clear about your structures, what you're up to, what you're doing. Peace and blessings, sweet peas. I love y'all. Bye-bye. Share the video. Okay, bye-bye.